So, take two. Welcome to the Make It Happen with Chamara interview series. I am Chamara Hollinsworth of Vision to Reality International, and what I do is I help female entrepreneurs to connect with their tribe and to scale up their businesses. So, today, what we're doing is we're interviewing Nandi Yard. Um, and while we do this, okay, so Nandi Yard, she is a dancer, a gymnast, cheerleader, footballer, biochemist, some of everything you can think of. Is there some sort of activity involved? Nandi is very much involved in, right? Again, oh, finally.
I was like, what is going on?
Girl, sometimes these things do happen. How is everything with you?
Good, and you?
Things are okay. Things are good.
There we go.
You look
Mm-hmm.
special.
Thank you.
All right, let me see if I get this camera set up properly. Okay, so since we had a slightly late start, what we'll do is just get you into it. So tell people who you are and what you do.
Shoot, there's a big, there's a big bracket. Let's see. Dancer choreographer might be the first thing. Um, Performer. I tour with the Mount Band, Rhythm Tribe. Um, Dance locally for a number of soca artists. Music videos,
Hmm.
promos, the works in the dance circle. With that, I do teach a soca dance class, which is
Hmm.
kind of like dance fitness. I would say cultural cardio, which is where from a guy spinning. Um, you still learn how to walk up, so there's that. Hold on, things on the dance like you jump to a football. Started back recently, so that feels good. Um, Scientists, I usually go with the workout scientist because I actually am a scientist. That's a branch of something. Entrepreneur, working on that. Enough different little things on that branch. I'm trying to summarize here.
Hmm.
Nothing. Nothing. Yeah.
So you
Hmm.
do a whole lot, pretty much. That's
A whole
really
lot.
what it is. A whole
Yeah.
lot. And you got fantastic things like that. So, I mean, the things that people know you most for would be the dancing. Well, that's one of the
Right.
things they know you most for. A lot of people tend to know that you do a bit of football, and they also know that you would have done biochemistry, right?
Hmm.
Is there anything before we really get started that you would want to point out to them that you do that people may not know that you're involved?
Shoot, you put me on the spot here. um, and this could get so random and so far in between because I am that person that will try new things and new hobbies.
Mhm.
I like to go to the shooting range. I took aviation flight classes. I hope to go skydiving real soon. Um, it could get real random. I ride a motorcycle.
Mhm.
See, not somebody did say it for me. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So we already have some good comments coming here. Somebody was talking about that they're a big fan because you dance good. Um, and somebody says, you ride bike. So anybody here, what we're doing is we're interviewing Nandi tonight. We're finding out a bit more about what she does and how she goes about doing it and all the little things in between. And feel free to press the question icon if you want to ask her any questions. Um, and
Be nice.
continue putting your
Oh,
comments
look.
in.
Yeah, I was a swimmer. Don't tell nobody too loud, but I used to swim competitively for a little bit. Um,
Hmm.
I coached cheerleading, haven't in a little while, but um, I was an international cheerleading coach. I
Hmm.
cheerleaded for a while too for Barbados. I'm trying to
And
think of
all that
things
stuff,
off the
getting
top of
off
my
on the
head.
different things. Hmm.
Yeah. I should have written this down before.
All right, and then you did gymnastics. I mean, you
I
can't keep up.
did. Yeah, so I used to do fitness competitions for a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
a fitness enthusiast, let's throw that in there. Hope to be a personal trainer soon. Working on that too. Hmm, quite a few
Okay.
things. I started editing videos. A lot of my most recent videos I've been editing myself. I figuring it out, I'm doing my little things in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As they pop into head, I can throw them out there.
No problem. If somebody says, as a person with no rhythm, they're a big fan.
Aw,
Mm.
wait.
Oh,
We
wonderful
can work
comment.
on this. We can work
Right?
on this.
All
I
right,
said
and
we
then
can
what?
work on this. Get to a workshop, register online or come to a class. See, look, workshop tour coming up soon. Doing a little mini tour soon back in the US. Not so long ago, came back from one, and the love was real, guys. Appreciate you. So every time I went to a class, there was another one popping up somewhere else because people wanted to come have a class there. So now I'm doing it again. There are like four locations in the US. I have Brooklyn, Philly, Boston, and then Atlanta. We may
Mm-hmm.
throw some other stuff in there as they come along. Sorry,
Okay.
trying to look at the
So,
comments too.
yeah. One of the questions that I have for you, somebody asked if you have a YouTube page, so that's a good one to answer. But
Not yet.
hmm,
Not yet. I really do plan to compile like some of the project stuff that I've been doing on my Instagram page and start that as a base for the YouTube channel and then everything else that I do from here. I'm working on it, which is where we gain the logo so that, everything together when we press gas. It's a process, guys. Baby steps. I'm getting there. Coming soon.
I'm in soon. All right. So let's we have an idea of some of the things you've done. My first question to you is, what inspired you to get into dancing?
That was that rhythm train. Hi, guys. um, ah, guys, by the way, Sharara is doing this all professional and thing like she didn't know me from before I
From birth?
existed.
Yeah.
From birth,
Hmm.
literally. So she's been here for all of this when I was at the dance shows at 4 years old with her mom. I know I get to see her babies in the dance shows. Welcome. Full cycle. But yeah, started out Barbados dance theater, I think when I was like 4. I used to
Hmm.
dance around the house. I gave my mother a big story of how I was a dancer before I was born. And she was like, yeah, dance school it is for you. Well, yeah. So I started at dance theater. I also used to dance with Danny Hines and Kim Allen in a community group. So that would have been the African, traditional African side. And then that theater would have been like more modern and ballet. And
Hmm.
that passed through a bunch of dance teachers over the years. Tyron Trotman, Dance in Africa, still at present. Um, Alexandra, I did some ballet at Prince Academy. I then, once I was finished UE here, went to Jamaica to do some classes at Edna Manley. Hmm. This is just throwing in some dance experiences in there. Um, Dance halftime with Brooklyn Nets. Um, Dance on Wendy Williams with Rhythm Tribe. Did Barbados on Waterfront in Toronto with Rhythm Tribe and Arturo Tapping Band. Tour with
Hmm.
Marshall. I bring it back around again, back to present. Recently, it's just been workshop stuff, whether online or in person. But yeah, that's a brief of the dance. But oh, I am lying. Let's see their music videos, promo
Hmm.
videos, some Afrobeat, the video. Thinking of people off the top of my head. Conscience, DeMarco, in the
You're not
soca
actually telling me
world,
things
some of
that I
everybody.
didn't even know.
Is the
So you don't have to
signal.
go and look for some of these videos.
Haha, I
I
should say
clearly
links,
missed. I clearly missed. All right. All right. All right. So um, you talked about how you got into dancing. what made you decide to do this professionally? Like, what inspired you to keep going with the dancing? Because I know for sure dancing is one of those things that um a lot of people say, okay, well, that's not a profession. What is it that you're really going to do? You know?
Hmm.
So what made you decide that you were going to pursue this as a profession?
Well, I mean, luckily, I had parents who were always in the art circle. My father was a musician and my mother is a seamstress. So wanting to follow the
Mhm.
non-conventional side was not out of the box, but there was also so it was also so important to finish the school side. So as long as I could juggle both, I could do both. And it was kind of motivation for me actually knowing that I had dancing or football or something, some activity in the evening. So let me get through the day and finish my schoolwork because I'm the biggest fan of school, you know. But let me
Mhm.
finish what I gotta do so that I could get to this in the evening. And then it ended up turning out to pay back because, like I say, I went to UE on a football scholarship. So, um, to get back to the question, because I went off on a little tangent, I still have to juggle both, and so I've still been doing the same thing. And luckily, I like both of them. And for a long time, it was that I was going to go that path, as most dancers in Barbados just to dance as like after work activity, just dancing in the hotel circuit or whatever they have going on. They usually still have a
Mhm.
9 to 5. So school would have been my way for that 9 to 5, and although I did want to be a professional dancer, I didn't exactly know how I was gonna get there. And then things kind of started showing it for me. So like, I mean, with the influence of people like Aisha and Hereditary Family, and then some of being in the right place at the right time. But you know, that's all destiny because I speak that and I practice for that and I prepare for that all before. But things kind of started showing itself for me more so. And then I was like, okay, I can actually do this. You know, there's a way to do this. I ain't gonna lie,
Fair
I
enough.
didn't have that motivation, believe in yourself up front. I really wish I did because I might have been a lot further. But you know, still grateful that the things happened in the times that they did. Hmm.
I think it's interesting that you just said that because I had a very big long discussion this afternoon with somebody very near and dear to me and you, right? And um, we were talking about, we started talking about mindset and the difference between the way how powerful your words are and your thoughts are, and when you think negatively, then chances are, well, it means that your perspective on the world is pretty negative, and chances are a lot of negative things will happen. But then when you start to make that shift and change your thoughts and change your language, then you start to see different shifts happen in your life, and one of the challenges, the way I see it, is that there are so many people who are not speaking life into their life, so to speak. So
True.
I think it's very interesting that you said, well, you prepared for that and you spoke it into life, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it started out kind of jokingly, truthfully. I used to say
Mhm.
stuff like, I finish, and that when people ask me what I want to be when I finish school, my first answer was always happy. I don't think I knew what I was saying when I started saying that at like 15, but you know, it kind of then made sense. I was like, yeah, I truthfully do want to just be happy when I'm done with all of this. But it's
Mhm.
to say, you know, I just finishing up with school until Marshall or Rihanna come and take me on tour, and ended up in the right space at the right time.
Mhm.
Even though there were a lot of different things that would have taken me off that path at that particular time. I could get stories and stories on this. You want the long version? Short. So like I wasn't supposed to be in Trinidad at that time. And then I ended
Mhm.
up staying longer, so I ended up on stage with Marshall, um, trying to take different classes from different places. So that's why I ended up in Trinidad to begin with. And I was just enjoying the music because it is the first time I ever heard the song. And then they asked me if I wanted to go on tour. And then even before that, I had a roadblock where I applied to UB for med, and I got accepted, and then there was a scene, and I ended up doing my second choice. And then at that point, I could not see why. It was just like, oh God, my whole career path got changed. I don't know what I can do it myself. Being all dramatic. But eventually, as per usual, I let that go and got back to the positive because I don't really function in a negative space. And by that point, with the martial scene, is like, honestly, if it was doing bad, there's no way that I could have been doing both and traveling and spent doing shows in Trinidad and coming back to do exams and going back to shows and doing all the in betweens. And then, like I said, it still works out that I am in a space that is something that I love doing on the science end of it. It's still stuff that I love doing. So, clearly, the mess up stuff happened. And in me speaking that positivity in between, like I said, it started jokingly, but after I started to realize, okay, wait, this is really a thing, and I started being intentional with it a lot more recent. It's been blooming, unfolding. Like I say, I feel like I've prepped for this, and now it's to take things at hand. And
Okay.
that was my big
So before I go on to my next question, I saw some questions pop up. So the first one is from Kissy. She asked if one-on-one dance classes are possible.
Yes, but we are working on a full package coming soon of all of that stuff, how you can register and book one-on-one classes. But if it is something prompt, you can shoot me an email at nandi.bookings, the email on my page, and we can start up something music.
Okay, fantastic. And the next question we have going here is from Barizia. So she asks, what is your typical work day like?
Typical is a bad word. Bad word there. I probably don't really have any 2 days generally the same because there's always some little things going on. So it's like I take it day by day. What is the schedule for today? What are all those things that I have to do today? Lachey is laughing because she know how this goes. Let's see. Depending on the time of year, it could be a work day. Let's say in Trinidad for Carnival, me and Bambi get up and go to the gym. We come back, we prep ourselves for a rehearsal, or we might have a show or five. If I was studying at that time, I had to do schoolwork, labs, and study in between while doing that. Still trying to find time to relax and get your head back where it needs to be and recover to body wise
Mhm.
for what's about to come the next day. If I'm here in Barbados, I could be at the lab all day and then end up in a dance class or a rehearsal or at some football practice in between or go run and do cheerleading and come back. There's no typical. I might end up at the beach. I don't
And she
know.
loves the beach.
It's true. It is very true.
Um, okay, so then the last question here in this box, and remember I said if you have any questions, because so many comments are going up in the chat, we might miss them, put them in click the little question mark, and you can put your question there. The next one is from Bike Life, Thai Bike Life. What is your diet and how are you so good looking? She was born good
Oh
looking.
dear.
That's the first thing I need to say. Right?
That's my
So
parents,
you
man.
can
Thanks. I ain't gonna lie,
you,
I went through a phase that was not it. It was not it, guys. I tried to delete all them photos, but bless the glow up. Bless the glow up. Diet. I'm not gonna lie and tell y'all that I eat real healthy and things because that would be a lie. I do try, however, to do like a 70-30 percentage, 60-40, depending on like what it needs to be ready for or like how much cardio I'm doing in the week because if the chocolate cake pass me, I can eat it. I ain't gonna lie, I can eat the chocolate cake. So I just try to make sure it's like 70% healthy and then do a little 30% of some nonsense in between. Get
seems
the
like a good
workout in so
ratio.
it don't be too bad. Yeah. Because the constant eating a healthy food was not working. I tried it like back when I was doing the fitness competitions, and I completely get turned off from food. Like I just stopped eating, did not have an appetite. I mean, I still got little issues with that right now, but this has been working in terms of being able to maintain a size, or like if I want to lose weight in a short space of time or tone up for something. The shit telling me
That's
to
it.
eat cinnamon toast crunch, fat. I will eat some. Oh no,
Oh
that's
gosh.
my
You see
go-to
how your
cereal.
family comes on and just tells of all your business. Oh.
Yeah, man.
All right. So let's take a shift because everybody knows you as a dancer. What I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you just mentioned that you ended up doing biochemistry because you didn't get to do um medicine. I everything for a reason because like you said, if you got to do the medicine, then you wouldn't have been able to take on the opportunities that were presented to you at the time. Right?
Yes.
But then like what got you passionate about biochemistry um along the way? Like, where did
Um,
you
I'm not gonna lie, my friend slash supervisor slash buddy old pal Nikolai Holder had a big part to play in this. So like in my final year of UE, I mean, so okay, biochemistry is the bridge between the biology and the chemistry, and I've done courses in like cell metabolism and stuff like that that would have been relating to the body that I so really liked and really love. Or like even back at BCC, I remember two of my favorite courses were courses on medicinal plants. One
mm,
was the biology end of it, and we studied how it affects the body. And then the chemistry class of it, we actually would have extract the um, components of the plant and test for them and release it back to the treatments and stuff like that. So that was a base of it, but I still went about different things because at that point I was heavy on math and, like I said, I wanted to do med. But Nikolai, in my final year of UB, um, he was doing research and his PhD, I think, at the time, I kind of like grabbed me and was like, come, you're doing a research project. And that was actually on renewable energy and taking organic materials and creating, not creating, but converting it into methane gas, renewable energy, natural gas, which could eventually be converted into like electricity and hopefully fuel cars and stuff and stuff and stuff. So that was my research project. And then by the end of it, he was still doing his research and needed assistance. So he focused more so now on pharmaceutical biochemistry and using plants as medicine and making medicines from it. And each of us kind of had our own individual plant that we were working on and stuff like that. And now I actually recently signed up to go back to do my master's. Um, Basically on the same thing, but I want to focus it on like dengue has been a big issue in Barbados recently, so we use implants. In a nutshell, that's what I want to do my master's on. Still signing up for grants and scholarships and stuff like that. But you know, things in the works. Like we said, it's going to happen.
mm,
And that's been the biochemistry. So yeah, that's what I've been doing in the lab and all those little snaps. Looking like a crazy person in my blindfold lab coat.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I feel like I need to backtrack a little bit too because, for instance, you mentioned that doing that you got a football scholarship to get to UE, and I feel like all these things kind of tie into one another, right? So
Yeah.
how on earth did you end up in football? Like, how?
Shoot. Since primary school, I
Hmm.
me and my friends were always those to just be outside running about on the pasture with the boys. Me and Ashley definitely out there running about with the boys. So all through secondary school, we had the football tournaments, and now we do play for the national team, national trials, national programs, and in that, we had a football team in a tournament, and once I played for them, I would get the scholarship at the time, and that worked out to end up paying for my school. Grateful, grateful for that.
Hmm. I think that's fantastic. Um, All right, so let's come back to some questions that people have been asking. We have Caramel Curvy. She's asking, outside of that, was the science background your passion? All
Did that
right.
person come? Hello? Well, yes. I kind of always knew it was going to be in the science field. Even if I think back from like primary school, it was always something in the medical science field, something along the lines. But it ranged over the time. At one point, I think I, yeah, I wanted to be a mortician. I went to when I applied to UE, it was to do forensic. I wanted to do med so I could do forensic pathology at some point. Um, I was good at math, so and physics, so it's like maybe I could be a math or physics teacher. Science always been the thing.
Mm-hmm. I like math and physics. Well, physics to me is a lot like math, so it was super easy to do. But biology and anything, sorry, not me at all.
I find the
No.
parts of it that I love and stuff to do.
All right, then we have Type Life asking, do you have any people that hate you? And how do you feel? And what? How do
Go through the
you,
day knowing that
okay, go through the
maybe.
day. Maybe. Okay. So, interesting
You hear
question.
the schedule that I just list out? Ain't no time to ever study them and them thoughts and what I'm doing with them time because I got
Mhm.
too much things going on with me. I really don't know. If you do, I feel for you because I definitely not studying you, but good luck, I guess. I really don't I can't say I know of anybody, like I'm sure, because like randomly I might get a DM with somebody saying something full that I know somebody bored and just created a fake account to send me nonsense, and I just closed it and continued scrolling past and go about my day because I got time to waste. I got energy to waste.
But she's saying that she handles the hate. I don't
Share
even
like the
doubt
should
it.
be on for them.
I don't, I don't doubt it.
No, like every
Um,
once in a while, somebody might get a reply out to me because I just be like, I can't let you go along thinking that you won here, especially if you're like commenting on like people in my class and stuff like that. I'd be like, no, you can't talk to like people like that. But it's also usually along the lines of, who asked you your opinion, bro? We were
mhm.
great over here without it. Like we literally were not studying you. We were enjoying ourselves over here. If you don't have good to say, just go back to your hole. Like we wasn't bothering you. But get up good. As Shay to say, I usually end with that. Get up
Fair enough.
good. Oh,
Good.
let Turbo. That was my macho. Hi,
Uh,
friends. I miss you.
Maria Jerry was saying she's super impressed and she wants to know where her cape is. So where's the cape?
My what? Kid?
Hmm.
I'm working on it, you know. I can get a kit and put the logo that we got coming on it. I got a logo
Perfect.
competition going on, and I got some really great entries from all over the world, like some people in India and things. I was like, where? I didn't know that one about here too.
That
Yeah,
is
man. So I need to select that by the end of the month, and I do plan to do a release of it in some way. Still working on how, but you might be giving me ideas. I might go put that on a kit for real.
Let me ask a question so that just in case, is the logo competition still going on? Can people still enter and how?
Oh, nah, the entry date
Yeah.
closed last
Oh,
week. So
so
right
sorry,
now,
people.
yeah.
Missed it.
The last thing was working on my top 10, because I
Mhm.
gonna promo for them. Oh, look, Phil landing at the same time, right? That is my cuz, big up Father Phyllis and the Brawling Boss. But yeah, me and Phil gonna promo for the top 10 people on the page as well. But
Mhm.
then It's just to select the winner from there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. Fantastic. All right. Before I forget, my question to you, being the dancer, gymnast, cheerleader, footballer, biochemist, everything, everything, how on earth, how do you do it? Like,
I still don't know, Sometimes if you're doing too much in that, I need to slow down, I need to rest, I need to tell people no, instead of trying to cram all of it into my little 24 hours and then get
mm,
partway through the day like this because they do a million things I can't set no more. I'm still working on it, to be honest. Shay does a lot of it. I do have a decent support system that will help me out where they can. Ooh, Spinny has always been like, come, I got you covered. I do have people that help me out with certain stuff. I do need to say no and slow down, but scheduling it helps a lot. Um, I started doing some homework and writing down what I need to do. And then I had some people like in a group chat, some good friends of mine that would keep me accountable halfway through the day and be like, yo, hold the homework, let's go in and stuff like that. And I found that that helped a lot with kind of
mm,
centering stuff that I needed to do. But scheduling that time to walk my dog, scheduling time to relax, and this is my time, and I'm not moving for this hour, so don't ask me to do nothing. It's just a more compact schedule now. Do not kill me
so
still talking about solar power.
sure. I was somebody asked where you get your energy from, and I could say one thing came to mind. They asked if you take vitamins.
No, at
Mm.
most I would actually eat the fruit or vegetable, but I don't take supplements. But I had to wax. You remember that?
I feel like from my perspective, I feel like you took the energy of your mother and like multiplied it by like 600 because I
True,
always used to wonder I always used to wonder how she get like how she managed to do her business and then take you to everything, and it's
True
still
story.
something, and, like it's like, do you even sleep? And you're almost the same way. It's like,
Yeah,
do you
boy, now
even
that I study at core, used to run boat behind me. But everything, like my friends brought it up recently how she used to come and pick us all up and take us all to football and then take us all to lessons. I remember coming up with you for lessons after and then take us somewhere else and then still doing work and running me to 2 million activities in between. She was really doing it for true. That might be where you get it from. Yeah, boy. It's
Mhm.
definitely cool. Time
I
management
know.
helps. I ain't the best at
Yeah.
it, but
So just now you mentioned, having teams or that support, right?
hmm
And you have people that back you up, people that keep you accountable, and the fact that you schedule things in order to kind of make sure that you have time for yourself. And I don't know how you have time for yourself and don't just crash out,
that's me on the
right?
beach.
I have time for
That's
yourself
the
as well.
evenings on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think it's really good that those three things really come out. So like my next question before we go to the let's see four more questions in the box. Would be see I should have just asked the question. Where am I going? Oh, how in terms of some of the places that you were able to go, like you mentioned how you ended up um touring with Matcha because you were at the right place at the right time. But then how
hmm
did you end up on things like the Wendy Williams show or um the NBA game? Like, what things did you put in place to position yourself to be at those events?
Uh, I can't even say to be at those events is really, I like to think of it. as not really lucky because, like I say, I really been prepping for it. So, like I said, the first time I went to Trinidad was because I wanted to take more dance classes, and we went to St. Vincent first, and then Trinidad was in that spot, and then Jamaica was in that spot, and I do try to take classes like whenever I go to the US. Anywhere I go, I will try to take dance classes. So to me, that was me prepping all before, but not to say I've ever directly done step one here, step two here, step three to get there. Because I don't know, I feel like dance is also one of those unconventional things where I can't say I'm going to go to this level of school first, and then I go on to this level, and then I go to this level, and then I get such and such job. It's like, especially not in the soccer world, there's not a player by player how this goes. So I like to think if I was prepping for it, the Wendy Williams, we probably got a call one weekend and was like, "Are you free for the weekend? This is the rhythm tray." And we were like, "Why you asking?" And they were like, "Do you want to go on the Wendy Williams?" And we were like, "Weekend is cleared. We are there." That was the Thursday. We looked for costumes the weekend. We were there the Sunday. We were on the show the Monday. Chat us downstairs in the gym, putting together this routine to go on Wendy Williams the next day. But we were lovely. Um, the Brooklyn Nets thing, this was with BCMA. They were here in Barbados, and I just saw the audition flyer. It was the first time I ever do an audition, and we were all like, "So yeah, we going? All right, cool, we going." And they only intentionally came for two dancers, but they were so impressed they took six of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. National scene, I get picked from the crowd by Turbo, who was here just now. Yeah, so I've been prepping before. Hmm.
I think that's important. You mentioned something about uh the dance that y'all just created in the gym the night before or what's not. Um, and it's so funny, right? Because earlier you said that your head is really bad, that you don't remember things, right? And from my observation, right, I find it so interesting from my observation because my oldest daughter sometimes I believe that her head is a sieve. However, when she does all of the different dance routines, she remembers them and is like, how do you remember these dance routines, right? But you can't remember to take this from here and put it over there. So how, like,
And you,
what
my mother
really?
been trying to figure that out for years. I have little tips and tricks. Sometimes is the music, and so depending on if how well I knew the dance, every time that song play, the movements can probably start to pop back in my head or my body can start doing it. That gets confusing when you have three dances to one song because then you're switching halfway through into the wrong dance.
Mhm.
That's one. I think music is usually my biggest. Oh, sometimes the pattern of the movements from doing it consistently all the time, the muscle memory. So
Yeah.
once I finish that movement, my body starts to go directly into the next movement. Um, the
But
flow of
then
things.
my question would be because like for me, my experience in dance and performance is not anything like yours. So mine would have been like I perform at different shows where I rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. So I could understand the muscle memory there. But when you learn to dance now and then go up on the stage and do it
The
in the
night
next 10
before.
minutes, like you
Oh, so I learned dances quickly. And that also comes with practice from either doing dance classes or doing just like we say, because crop over does land and it's be 2 million shows and last minute and in between. So we did the night before or at the side of the stage and no God like put this together. And I learned dances quickly. So sometimes somebody might end up falling out of a dance and they get called the same day and go learn it on the spot and go straight up on stage. But that's kind of like an audition setting to me or a dance class setting where we would have gone through the words of the class and learn a choreo and know there's the end of the class and it's time to perform it. So I
mhm.
might not get 100% of these things right in there, but no, this is where my survival mode might tip in on if I perform it and a mistake happens. I can show that there's a mistake and I gotta find the best way to recover. And sometimes it actually feels like the world's slowing down and everything is slow motion and I got time to think and this is how I fix in it and then we come back into real time and catch it back and I can find it in videos where I was about to bust my face. and they turn around into
Mhm.
something else, or I can tell you that is not what was supposed to happen, but you can't tell, and that's all that matters. And we
Fair enough.
proceed.
Okay, so somebody Digi Adams asks, you if you were on the Wendy Williams show and when does it air? So I mean, it went already. Is there a link or a way they can find it online? Let's just let them know so they can check it out. And before that, the unique one asks you what schools you attended, and then we're going to the four questions. So you could answer those two things, and then we're going to the five questions that are here waiting
All
for
right,
you.
Wendy Williams. I don't even know where would direct you to find that other than Rhythm Tribe or on my page, but if they're on my page, that way down. It was just like a little intro for a giveaway that they were giving to a trip to Barbados. Let me not minimize the magnitude of that, but it was literally over in a
Mhm.
blink of an eye. It's like the dance was done in like 15 seconds. It's like, all right, it done already, guys, but we just did that. Did it happen? Did we blink and that actually happened? Well, um, so yeah, I would go
Okay.
scroll on my page and look for that to forward it or something. And I went to St. Stephen's Nursery, St. Stephen's Primary, Alexandria, PCCUE. Enough school. Oh, a little bit at Edna in Jamaica. Hmm.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let's start these questions here. Okay. This one was already answered. I think the answer in the chat first. So let's move on to the next one. So Butterbean is asking you, when will your own workshop tour begin?
I appreciate her because this is her reminding me about
To
stuff that I
promote
should talk
yourself, yeah.
about.
Hmm.
Yeah, appreciate it. So, like we said, it's the mini workshop tour starting in August. I just posted a post for that. This is with Soca and Sweat, a promotion dance company in New York, based in New York, that hires different two instructors. So I have a little mini tour with them for the month of August to the different states that I mentioned before. So just register for that, socaandsweat.com, or on their Instagram at Soca and Sweat. And then my workshop tour I am working on for 2022. Um,
2022. You just said 2022.
yeah,
Okay. Look, for some reason my
not
brain
the end
just
of
went
this year.
like, okay.
That's so far.
Yes, but then my brain just realized, it's 2021 already. Just roll with it, child. All right.
I'm about to be at September and October, and good year
Yeah.
then. So yeah, hopefully more things are a little less restrictions that things can happen. But outside of that, we also working on the online version, um, live classes, pre-recorded, etc., etc. So that is it coming soon. Something. Come, Lachey, hit me with the next thing. Refresh my memory.
Look, Lachey coming with the next one already.
I
How did
know,
she work,
right?
hire, and collaborate with you?
Oh God. Email at nandi.bookings@gmail.com. I
Okay.
feel like I'm doing a little test.
The next one that I have to ask you that I didn't feel Lachey talk about is tell people about Nagasi.
See? Come in here. Am I in Barbados? You can hear the crickets. I know you can hear these crickets because of the loud. Just only hear them in Caribbean. I was trying to get rid of them with my headphones, but I didn't know if that really work out. Um, yeah, I gonna rebrand on the Body Glow real soon. I was because I wanted to glow not just on stage, beachside from like fitness competitions where we would need to bronze up or modeling for band launches and enough different little things like that. And Lashia this is Buster Bean, Buster Beauty, has her natural skincare line, which, thanks for my skin glow and facing. Yeah. So she had her thing, and I was like, so I need something to glow. She was like, you went to school for this, and so that's how the body glow came into being. That is still there at shop.nagasi, but we are going to rebrand that and come back proper with that real soon. Let's see. I already talked about the workshop. Nagasi Fitness line coming, guys. The merchant thing coming for the dance classes. We are working on things. I'm excited to show y'all. I don't want to talk about it too much. I want to show y'all.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing it since you just want to show us. Okay, so we have here, do you have a child and do you late father Philip?
Bella is my child, my four-legged baby. She is at camp living her best life, or she would be trying to be in this life. Oh no. um, Phyllis is my cousin, dog. We's blood. We related.
Mm,
Mm.
mm-mm.
So yeah, I love you like my bro, because we grew up pretty close, but ain't that type of
Yeah,
vibes.
sure enough. Somebody's saying they can't wait for you to come to Boston.
Yeah. Okay, watching
And
man.
then um Chartered
Do I
nighttime
drink
asked if you
coffee?
drink coffee.
I probably ain't drink coffee since my final exam at UE.
Okay, cool.
I ain't had no other reason to stay up that intense.
Okay. Right, so I'll leave that next one out. Um, okay. So sorry you didn't know that. All right, I just peeping through, scrolling up, but there's so many. So many comments.
What about pole classes? I still learning. I still working on my pole skills, truthfully. Pole actually right behind where the phone set up right now.
Cool.
I should
Um,
practice. See,
that's all
the
I
show on the
have.
pole classes coming soon.
Yes, because
Just
she
say
she
else
is
to do.
really good at marketing. She
She is something else.
has maximum love right there.
It's true. That's Mama Jer. Hmm.
I had you mentioned learning. I think it's very interesting that you keep talking about learning. Why would you talk a little earlier about how you continue to do different dance classes, and then you also talked about learning pole fitness. Why do you think it is important to continue learning as you go?
Well, you don't ever stop learning. I feel like I can't continually give to you if I'm not also taking in.
Hmm.
Um, it's something I could learn from anybody dance class, to be quite honest. Even if it's just how they carry the class, their spirit in the class, how they interact with people. Like I can learn something from almost anything. So everywhere I go, I usually try to jump in some dance class, even just to experience it. Um, yeah, but things keep changing, things keep evolving, and that's the only way you could keep growing is if you keep learning. So that was it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Yes, all
Even though I
ages
see that
welcome to the
Lachey
dance
is
class.
right, I was just saying, even though I can see that Lachey is putting in the work and answering the questions, just so that everybody, just in case they missed the comment, um, somebody asked if they can come to your dance class, because she's 58.
Yeah,
And
I had
Lachey said, all ages are welcome. And I can attest to
a.
that because my mommy, who is in her 60s, said that she went to one of the dance classes and she really enjoyed it. I'm not sure she was able to move much afterward. However, I know she enjoyed the class very much.
The old girls was in the back. No lie. No, like actually,
I was
one of
like,
their friends came to my dance class in Miami. She grew up with them in Black Rock, and actually had those like
mm,
in her 60s too. And she was like, "Yeah, I come to walk up today."
girl, my mother
Yeah,
was like, I don't know how one of young people races move so fast. So I know she was well back up. Don't dig nothing.
yeah, man.
All right. She'll probably tell me off after this, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'll take it. Mhm. Let's see. What else can I ask you? I feel like we covered so much, right? And I am surprised that I feel like a lot of time went and we still didn't reach the hour. You understand? But
Really?
we cut I saw we are now at 50 minutes. Okay, so we have here, do you get a lot of let me read this for me. Do you get a lot of good feedback or compliments on Barbados? That's the first question. And then the second one is, do you feel like we have enough talent to take abroad and big up Barbados?
Yeah. Wait, what side question is that? You always following? Like I joke. Not to be like that, but honestly, I always bigging up whenever I can. If most of my class usually is a Bajan mix or Bajan base, and then it would teach stuff in between there, like throwing little landship moves in between the workout. I would have a little inter school sports segment.
Mhm.
Sometimes I set the scene like it's a 4 day jump or whatever the theme is for that particular class. So I usually keep it very related to Barbados because it's still like giving a piece of Barbados. And yeah, usually it's somebody else that wants to learn the Bajan culture or some Bajans abroad that getting their little piece of home in the class, or some people that just want to learn to walk up. And I try to big up my country every time I get. So yes, I do get compliments on Barbados. Sweet little land, of course.
I think
Um,
it's so
oh,
interesting
go
when you
ahead.
said that there are people that like to learn, that want to learn to walk out, and it like to me it was like, huh? Right? But
Yeah,
yeah.
like we usually like it's such a norm for us that we don't
Mhm.
really study it until I get there in the space, and I know. So this is why I put it to the workout scientist because I know breakdown in detail feet positions, the height levels, the range and size of the workout because it could be a real big or a real small space. We got tempo changes because it's a slow, deadly wind, or we at a bubbling speed. And then after workout breakdown, you still got your jerks and your pops and enough different little in between things. You could put that into choreo, or it could just be like a cardio burner. But yeah, people literally just want to learn to walk up. When them go to them Caribbean parties, know them, or them jump for carnival, know they could party the good
Fair
way.
enough. It's just interesting. Sometimes we don't realize how things that come natural to us because of our culture, our background, or what's not. Um,
Yeah,
how there are people that don't get it. So I
yeah.
think that's great. I never looked at it that way.
For real,
Um,
like my roommate Bambi really is one of those people that put it into perspective because again, it's not her culture directly, but it's one that she loves and appreciates, and she shares whenever she can, and she's always very particular on making sure you know the origin and where it comes from and stuff like that. But we in the room, and I lay down watching TV, and Bambi is literally practicing her workups, and she doing the thing, she really, really doing it. But she's like, yes. I have to practice. I have to get it smooth and stuff. And I was like, I appreciate that. And in her doing that too, it caused me to like pay more attention to it, study it, and not just
mhm,
take it as a natural. Because once the music come on, it naturally comes for me. And so then I was able to better package it when I putting it over to somebody else and explaining how to work out in little details. There you go.
this for me is this is a real random question. I want to know if you're like me, right? I have
Mm.
this, my children laugh at me all the time. You see band music? I
Uh,
I can't help but move when I hear band music. It's like it just do something for
yep,
me. It's
I
like
understand. I
And I be trying
understand.
real bad, but then the children be laughing at me real bad because they be like, you know, you want move. It's our like just go right on ahead. But I can't
I'm
help
sure
it.
the babies will dance with you.
Yes, you know who reminds me of you a lot? Nairobi. And so interesting
Yes.
her personality, and she started learning to be Mother Sally this year. So, so she's very, very excited about that. And
Nice.
if there's one thing she comes home practicing, like of all the time she's been dancing, this child never come home and practice anything. She likes to practice a lot of gymnastics, right?
Mm.
But since she started Mother Sally, they're practicing all the time, you know? So,
Look who she gonna teach Granny now.
no, Mother, sorry. Anyhow, let me see. All right, so somebody, the unique one asked if there are any more collabs with K. Um, Love was
Yeah, man.
so right. She said
For
it was
sure,
so much fun
K
trying
is
to keep it
my
on.
K is my sweetheart. Like going right back out there, we already got things in plans to work on.
Let's share
K
you
is my
lapsing though. Like,
people.
I see some questions here, like when is the next class in New York City? And I see there's no response from the share. Oh wait,
I know,
sorry, let me.
right?
I eat my words. She said August the 12th. She just. All right, I took it back. Sorry, August the 12th.
She working, she
Um.
working.
Ty Bike Life said he was a walk-up person, and no, he's a bike life man. But Nandi's both like, well, she's not a man,
Are
but
they?
she's both. You know, you
What
could
you
still
choosing?
you could do it all, right? And people are sending their love like crazy. So we're going to ask you before we close off this thing. I feel like we might need to get you back on the show at some point, right?
All right,
Because
all right.
there are so many things that can be done.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Hopefully by then I have more things present in the physical to share. I sure you got nothing's happening between then, so we have things to talk about.
no, so many
Hmm.
stories that can be told.
It's true.
Yeah. Um, okay. Oh, good Lord. Somebody said they would love to see Wendy walk up. That would be
Oh
interesting.
dear.
Okay.
I'm not getting in that.
Anyhow, all right. So Lachey, before we go, take the time to let people know how they can get into contact with you. And at least like we know that you're going to be in New York City on 12th of August, so you're not going to be here for your birthday. For all
Yeah,
of
my
those,
birthday's in life.
so you leave it after the night?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So you're going straight to New York then.
Is
Okay.
me and Phil. Actually, me and Phil gonna do it. So we usually do our birthday thing here, but as we were both in the U.S. and things ain't happening about here really, so we're gonna do it in New York. So yeah, me and Phil birthday action happening in New York. I'm talking about it here first. We can drop the posters real soon, but look out for that, especially if you are in New York. Let's share answering the question. Yes, book at Nandi.bookings@gmail.
Right. Lachey, you're much appreciated. You're doing
I know, right? She working.
exactly. Right. Um, okay, so book at nandi.bookings@gmail.com. You can follow Nandi at
If you type in Nandi Yard, it should come up. But your African Queen underscore Nandi is the
yeah, okay.
Instagram handle. Should
And so follow her at your African Queen underscore Nandi. But Lachey is saying no DMs. Do not DM anything. If you want to book anything, send it to the email nandi.bookings@gmail.com. But if you want to follow Nandi and see what's happening, you can follow her at Your African Queen Nandi. And I think the link from there takes you to Nagasi shop.
hmm
So if you want to from there or from the at some point there's a link that
Um,
leads you to Nagasi Body Glow.
yeah. I try to remember was the link in my bio. Oh, right now. We did talk about this bad memory thing that is low me here. I
I'm
think
sure
so.
Lachey
Or,
can
by
fill
the
in.
time I done
Right,
this,
right,
Lachey probably already fixing it.
right. But yes, so that's how you can reach Nandi. Feel free to follow me at Make It Happen with Chamara. My mommy is saying, good to see the
Oh,
God,
Lord.
good to see the God sisters together.
Who be
Right?
your mommy on Instagram?
Yes, and yours too, She was here from the
I know.
beginning.
I know last week she called me. I was like, I don't know how to get on the live, Nandi. How to get on the live.
No problem. Some Instagram messages coming your way. Don't worry about it. We got one
Oh,
covered.
dear. Mm-hmm.
We got one covered. All right. So thank you, Nandi. I really enjoyed this. I look forward to having you back in the near
Thanks for
future.
having me.
By then, we should be able to see the fitness line, see the upgrade
Mm-hmm.
to Nagasi, know the full tour schedule, and also know about what's coming for next year. We
Mm-hmm.
can hear about the masters. We hear about everything, you know, the next time around. And then maybe we should have an interview with Lachey because it would be very good to know how she goes about doing all that she does and managing Nandi as well.
You're right. I know she tired. She fed up. That's all love.
Lachey can't get fed up with you.
True
It ain't
story.
possible.
It's because of her. It's truly because of her. A big part. So she gotta deal with it
It
now.
is. And somebody said their funny face or nine says she's going to try and get to that class. Don't
Looking
say you black in
forward
the
to
face,
seeing you.
girl, honey girl. We interviewing you. You don't dig nothing. I checking you next. You understand? All right.
Yes, Ben Vibes. Oh, Ben Vibes for the logo competition.
benvibes.com/Nandi-logo. Um,
Yeah, no, that was for the logo competition. That's what's in my bio right now. So I now need to change it back since competition submissions are closed.
yeah. Okay. Um, my mother wanna know how we could talk about her business, so
I
we
can
love
see
you.
them will call you very soon.
We love you. Oh, anyhow, thank you, Nandi. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
And have a fantastic evening, everyone. I look forward to seeing you all next week when we do our next interview. Um, blessings always are always on your side, Nandi. That speak
True
it.
story.
Speak
True
it into
story.
being.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. So bye
Yeah.
everyone. We'll see you. Pardon?
I was
Any
saying, no,
last
like
words?
usually when people ask me how I am, my answer is usually I bless. Like, truthfully, see, it's usually come out in a little jokey form, but it's really, really meaning things deep down. It's like,
That's good. Any
yeah.
anything else you would like to tell anybody before we go since you know?
Um, get out good, guys.
All right, get up good people.
Um, let's see. I should really do better than that. Thinking. See, I
Hmm.
usually my thing is usually to speak. I'm very big on that speaking life. No, it only is to yourself, but my people around me, and that's usually based on a positive outlook and love for yourself and others around you. And let's see, this is me trying to play it all in a nutshell. Believe in yourself because clearly, if I did it, I wouldn't have reached here. Cater to you. Take some time for you. That is also important. Like find them times in between the busy schedule to cater to you because you can pour from an empty tank. You can only be your best you if you are at your best you. So cater to that. Um,
Hmm.
see if we can think of anything else off the top of my head. Be great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.